everybody, and welcome to our brand new series, Meal Preppin' with Mo and Steph. Do you like Mo and Steph or Mo and Stephanie? You don't care? Well, I want to tell you something. You guys have asked a lot about doing videos on meal prepping because sometimes the nutrition part of things can be the hardest part. At least that's what most of our patients say, and that's been my experience in the world, that the nutrition part was the hardest. And I actually met Stephanie a while back at CrossFit, and she just has this really great story, and I thought I could have you share just a little bit, and then she's the genius behind everything you're going to see today. And by the way, you're in my kitchen, so welcome. But she's going to share her story a little bit, and then she's going to go through all these great things that hopefully will help you learn a little more about meal prepping. So with that, Stephanie, you want to share kind of your story? I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm only a little bit red. So I used to be a lot heavier than this, but it didn't really hit me until my son was about 7 months old. He was crawling and on the stage of walking, and I got really tired trying to keep up with him, and I quickly realized that if I was going to be a better mom and be able to play with my kid, I was going to have to change. So it was Mother's Day of 2000, Jackson, when we were born, 2014, that I decided I had to change. And so I just slowly started to change my diet and then introduced exercise, and about 65 pounds later, here I am.
And I will, by the way, I'll edit these in later, but for the magic of it all, you guys will be seeing these pictures come across that she shared with me. And we connected, and I love her to death, and I'm so excited to get to share this with her. And I think, honestly, there's no better source. I eat the same exact same thing every day. This is kind of boring. It's fine for me, but it doesn't work for everyone, especially if you have a big family. And she is so good at this. So with that, we're going to start with snacks and smart snacking. So I thought you could just kind of start us off, and we've got a list of things we're going to cover today. So where shall we begin?
So with snacking, variety is key, also moderation. So I try to just kind of switch it up. The first thing I want to talk about is I really like crunchy stuff, but chips and I don't agree with our diet. I don't think it does for anybody.
No.
So, let me turn this on.
Yeah.
There we go.
We're gonna do this in front of you so you can see how easy it is. So I'll grab you a paper towel if you need one. Now, if you are a recycler, please don't judge me. I could have used the towel. If you have a problem with this, let me know. I'll switch to a towel. I need to work on it.
So we're just gonna cut up some celery because celery, thank you, ma'am, is a good crunch, as you can hear from cutting
Listen to that crunch.
And celery is one of the produce items that stays for a while.
It's so pretty.
It does. It looks like a
flower.
Back. It stays for a while. It's not one of those produce items that like cilantro or something. Not that you would ever snack on cilantro, I don't think.
Yuck. I hate cilantro. I mean, I hate it. I throw it away.
Really?
Every time.
You like Mexican food, though.
I know. Okay, I like it in pico de gallo. But I'll throw it away. I do, every once in a while I do Sunbasket. I do the lean and mean plan. And they'll put cilantro, and I throw it right in the garbage disposal. I don't even use it. Do you use these, by the way?
No, I don't.
I eat them.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never ate them.
These things here, everyone throws them away. I'm telling you right now. Save them. Eat them. They're so good. Now, they are a little different tasting, obviously, than the stock.
Well, you're a little different, too.
I also eat my my whole apple core. So I'm weird.
Yeah. But celery is one of the produce items that I feel stays good the longest. Doesn't go soft. Like where we cut up strawberries in a little bit, they can go bad kind of quick. So celery, a lot of times I crave, with my crunch, I crave salty. Like think of, like I can eat a whole bag of chips and French onion dips, but I probably shouldn't. So something that I've found rather recently, actually, that I really enjoy is I enjoy eating Laughing Cow cheese and celery because I can have probably, let's say, 5 or 6 of these little stalks of celery, and I'll eat it with some of the creamy Swiss garlic and herb Laughing Cow cheese. And the reason I really enjoy these is because you get, I think, 8 of them in a wedge, and it's already portioned out for you. So I literally will put some of these in a baggie with the Laughing Cow cheese, and if I get hungry throughout the day at work, I have a very healthy snack. And it's already portion controlled because I have my one wedge. I don't have a whole bowl of cream cheese.
Yeah, and those are delicious. And they're 35 calories per wedge, which, you know, you'll hear if you are at the clinic ever, and Dr. Murphy will say, don't have cheese ever, it's an outlawed food. But one of the reasons that is because cheese is so easy to overdo, and this is not going to happen. I mean, unless you go crazy on this whole wheel, please don't do that. We've all been there. We've had those nights where we just eat a whole wheel of cheese. But don't do it. It's not good for you. This is 35 calories, so it's super easy, and it's seriously delicious. So you'll put it in a bag like this, just one of them, right?
Right, yeah,
With
with
some
my
celery.
celery. And then if you want to change it up and you want something crunchy but you want a little bit of sweet with your salty, I'm totally fine with peanut butter. If you want to go a little bit better, you can use almond butter, which we also have.
Almond butter.
And I eat both of them, but peanut butter is life, let's be honest.
Oh my gosh, I love peanut butter. And so 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is around 180 calories, correct? And this is crunchy. I'll show you the kind I get. Now, I'll see what you think about that. So this is the kind I get. I get the natural Jif. Or is it Gif? No, that's Jif Gif. This is Jif. Mom's like you. Do you choose Jif?
I actually just choose great value because I'm really cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. I've gotten this natural. Be aware of that sometimes. Sometimes it's totally bogus. The natural, gluten-free, all that nonsense. I like this kind. It's a little more. It's 190 calories for 2 tablespoons. I'll show you a tablespoon real quick. I know we've all seen them if we cook. But I'm not even kidding. Sometimes I feel like it's easy to overdo it with things like peanut butter, especially because it comes in this.
Most definitely.
So I'm going to zoom in. This is a tablespoon. It's more than you think, but I still use it to this day. I'll literally dip it right in there and I'll level off the top with my finger, and that's what I use. So don't you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, because we can't even put all the celery in a bag. It's really good because if you just take the whole jar of peanut butter, let's be honest, I'm going to eat half of the jar because peanut butter is so good.
So good.
And that's why you have to make sure that you measure something out. So like for me, if I take peanut butter with me as a snack to work with celery, I measure out my 2 tablespoons and I put it in a container. So when I get to work, I know exactly how much peanut butter I have in there to eat with my celery. Now on to the sweeter side of things.
Smoothies?
Yes. We have strawberries and we have blueberries. You really can't go wrong with fresh produce. I mean, there's no added sugar. It's just the natural sugar that is in the produce already. So we're going to work on a little bit of cutting up strawberries. And fruit can definitely just be eaten by itself, or
There you go.
if you want to spice things up a little bit, we have
spicy.
we have a few things to make, I guess, a more indulgent snack, I guess I would call it. And one thing I really love to eat with my fruit is low-fat string cheese.
Oh, yes.
And we can go ahead and open that
Okay.
up. And the reason I really like these is my fruit is my sweet, my string cheese is my salty, but here again we don't have a block of cheese. We have individually pre-proportioned servings.
Yeah.
And it's only 80 calories.
1 stick.
One
That's
stick.
a lot of cheese.
Yeah, and so in this bag there are 12 servings. So say that you just have one a day, that literally lasts you almost 2 weeks, and this costs like $3.
Super cheap.
So
It's delicious.
It is delicious.
Yes.
If you are a person that likes yogurt in the morning, instead of having a yogurt that has strawberries in it with a lot of added sugar, I really like plain Greek yogurt. Serving size is actually kind of big. Sometimes they're a cup. This one is 2/3 a cup. so you don't even need necessarily a full serving, especially if you're putting fruit in it. But this one has no fat, it's got a lot of protein and a moderate amount of carbohydrates. And also Greek yogurt's not only good for just yogurt, it's really good for other recipes, and we'll kind of talk about that here in a little bit. So Greek yogurt with some strawberries and maybe add in some blueberries, and you've got a really good meal.
Do you just put that, do you use like little containers that you put it all in and kind of plan it out like that, or how do you do yours?
So literally when I meal prep, I go ahead and I put my ingredients all together in a container after I've measured everything out, and say that you're counting calories or carbs or for whatever's sake. We have dry erase markers, and I will write that on top of the container.
Oh, perfect. That's a great idea.
So when I go to eat it, I don't have to recalculate it. I know what it is, and it washes off when I wash my dishes.
And you know what I think too, as we've been talking about this, something that I think is super great, so you think, man, I don't want to have to wash all the dishes. I'm telling you what I do is, I'll grab it here in a minute, but I do have dishes. You can't see it. It's the magic of GoPro. It's off screen, but I'll get it here in just a second while Stephanie's talking. I just have a little dryer mat that I set right next to my sink. It's always out. So it's not a big deal if I want to, scoop out, what was it, 3/4 of a cup?
Yes.
2/3 of a cup, yeah. So sorry, I misheard you. 2/3 of a cup, if that's what you want to use. And then rinse it out real quick, wipe it out, set it right on your mat, and you're done. You don't have to do a ton of dishes, especially if you just have it handy like that. And same thing with your blender bottle. I mean, I just always have it right there ready, so that it's not a hassle. I mean, because it really isn't. If you're just kind of ready that way, just kind of rinse it. You don't have to go crazy and wash it if you've not and it's not like a utensil, Now, if you're kind of a clean freak, that's okay. I am kind of, but I'm not a total germaphobe. It's up to you. I want to eat one of those strawberries so bad.
Go ahead and eat one. So, too, if just strawberries and yogurt sounds a little bit boring and you want crunch, you can add almonds. Almonds are a good, healthy fat, in moderation, of course. And then there are, how many? It's varied per container.
161?
Yeah, 161 calories. And like I said, this is a good, healthy fat. This is all in moderation. But the great thing about the things that we're showing you with like the Greek yogurt and the strawberries and the almonds is you could eat just the almonds with the strawberries. You don't have to have the Greek yogurt. Or you could have just the almonds with a little bit of cheese. It's just having staples in your diet to where you have something versatile. Don't get bored with one thing. You can have 6 items and make 17, 18 different recipes.
Yeah. And I love that because I think sometimes that can be, like what Stephanie said, there's staples in your, literally, this is not a Walmart pickup ad. I talk about Walmart pickup all the time. I swear they're not paying me. I love it. You literally just go in, put it in your baskets, and I have favorites that I've saved in my app. And so I just add it to my cart every time. Or if you, for a natural grocery store, of course, if you have those staples that you get every time, just like these, it makes it simple. And at first, there are some things to learn, but I promise over time this gets so much more simple.
Right.
Because even though it's already pretty simple, but you get used to it and you start understanding what those staples look like and that you always have them. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer. So Dr. Murphy does, same thing with cheese. Dr. Murphy has talked about yogurt before and how that's not something that you want in your diet. But again, part of the reason is, we all have a tendency to overdo it. And like Stephanie said, everything's all about portion control and moderation. So follow that on the back. 2/3 of a cup, that's 100 calories. Your caloric intake amount for the day, or you should, from having met with Dr. Murphy. And if you haven't met with Dr. Murphy, hopefully then you do. And we can go over that. But it's all about keeping it simple and making sure you stay within your kind of allotments for the day, not getting out of control.
Right.
So there was my spiel on that part.
Oh, you're totally fine. So while I'm finishing this up, I'm just looking at my list to see what else we have. Something else. Oh my gosh. This was the hardest thing for me not to eat today before we recorded this.
Oh, your eggs?
Hard-boiled eggs, okay? You cannot go wrong with these. They're a great source of protein.
Yes.
You can eat them by themselves, or if you want to eat them with some almonds or some fruit, something to put in there, and it's a snack. And here's your portion right here. You have an egg. If you want to, it's not bad for you. I mean, They're low carb. They've got healthy fats, which are in the yolk, and they're a good source of protein.
They're so easy to eat.
They are.
Love
Eggs are very versatile. They're not people, I think, associate them too much with breakfast, and they're so much more than that.
Oh, yeah. I eat eggs for dinner when Dave is traveling. I'll literally just I do about a half a cup of rice, and then I'll cook like 3 eggs over medium. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm telling you, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love eggs. And like she said, they're so versatile. You can do so much with them, and they're healthy.
Yeah. The next thing I'm moving on to is one of my favorites. I like sweet. I like salty. And apples are one of those great things. But an apple to me is not filling, let's be honest. Like, I think my husband even said that when he craves it, or when he eats an apple, he actually gets hungrier. Not really sure if there's any science behind that. But I like to cut up an apple, and I like my salty, so I will portion out some almond butter.
Ooh, yes, your almond butter. I put it back to the almond butter.
I would show you what's inside, but it's virtually empty until I go to Sam's.
Yes.
So apples and almond butter. Apples and just almonds. I mean, you can't really go wrong. And if you look to a lot of our ingredients, not all of them, but like the fruit and stuff, they're more from the earth. So even though they have sugar in them, they're natural.
Yeah.
It's not added sugar. You know, sometimes I think when I look at like yogurt in the store, it's literally the equivalent of taking like fat, because that's essentially what's in the yogurt, is there's fat, and somebody just pours a whole bunch of sugar, and ta-da, here's a product. And no wonder it's addictive, because it's all sugar.
Yes. And that's why Greek yogurt, right? 'Cause just not to go back to the Greek yogurt, but that's why it's different than like the yogurts that have M&Ms in it, or, you know, don't buy those minis that have lots of flavors in them, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. And then these have like added, I don't know if people know this, but there's bacteria in here, because there is like healthy gut bacteria that's good for you, that helps your digestion.
Jamie Lee Curtis should have told you about that with Proactive.
Oh yeah.
Your healthy belly germs.
Right. Next thing, we'll just grab, celery, I wasn't done with that.
Oh, celery. Here, I've got the celery girl. I got your bag. Here you go.
Okay. So, few more things. Tuna. Tuna's really good, and they make, I don't even know, I've never eaten them, but the flavors that are like buffalo, ranch.
Ooh, yes.
Tuna is really high in protein. This is 2 ounces. It's a very affordable snack because it's 98 cents for this. Okay.
That's nice. And it's 70 calories, right, per serving for one pouch. 70 calories.
And it's got 17 grams of protein.
That's awesome.
Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is another thing. Dairy, I feel, is very much in moderation. Serving is half a cup. So my husband and I actually eat cottage cheese quite a bit. So we bought half-cup serving containers. So we put it in there. We don't even have to think about it. We know how much is in there. Yeah. Cottage cheese is really good with fruit. I personally love it with a little bit of pepper and cherry tomatoes.
That sounds great.
That's where my life is at. I like that.
I love cottage cheese and pepper.
Yes.
That's good.
And then hummus. I know Dr. Murphy says if you're going to eat some crunch, go for pretzels.
Yes, yes.
Okay, they actually sell, I couldn't find it, little pre-proportioned hummus containers with some pretzels in it that are very low calorie.
Yeah, they're like the pretzel crisps, I think, right?
Yes.
They're good.
They're like by like Sabra or something.
Yeah.
It's this company.
Yeah.
Totally.
That same company. Smaller package, same company.
Right. So this is roasted red pepper hummus. I'll be honest, when I had hummus for the first time, I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
But when I found the roasted red pepper, or there's like jalapeno, oh my gosh, my mouth is watering talking about it.
I can't wait until we're done filming this, because I'm going to mow it down. Maybe, if you share.
But it's spicy, and it's got like, it's not a lot of spice, it's just got flavor. And for hummus, if you don't know, it's ground up chickpeas. So another thing that's really good from the earth. And with celery, I mean, you have a plant-based snack, and when you look at the things, people think snacks cost so much money. It costs, I hear all the time, but it's so expensive to eat healthy. It's really not when you think about long term. Something I'm going to use as an example is before I changed my lifestyle, I ate ramen noodles because you can get a 12-pack for like, I don't know, $3, right? Yes. But I was at high risk. Morbid obesity runs so high in my family. I've had so many family members that have had a gastric bypass, that have had diabetes, thyroid problems. And so my health was like basically my medical bills were going to be so expensive. But if you break things down, so some things I wanted to share is like the tuna. This is 98 cents at Walmart. You can go to Sam's. It's the same amount. A dozen eggs, the last time I bought eggs was 74 cents a dozen, which breaks down to 6 cents per egg. My yogurt, this was $2.98 at Walmart. It's great value.
Yeah,
There's
good.
nothing wrong with great value. You don't have to buy name brand. And when you break it down to 5 servings that are in there, that's 60 cents a serving.
That's so cheap.
Cottage cheese is $2.48. With 6 servings, it's 41 cents a serving. So if you really break it down, you're saving so much money by prepping at home. I know my husband and I do, because my husband and I are very active in CrossFit. We go 5 to 6 days a week. We work 10-hour days. My husband usually works at least 50 hours a week, and we have a 4-year-old. And if we don't have food laid out, we blow so much money just trying to find something on a whim.
Yeah. And you normally don't pick good choices when you're rushing. I mean, so if that tells you anything, she's busy. So, I mean, and I'm not trying to say that other people's lives aren't busy, because everyone's lives are different, and we respect you and what you do. But she makes the time to do it, and she has a very busy life. And not to interrupt your train of thought, but I think that's another thing to keep in mind. If you plan ahead and you know, do preserve that time, whatever day or week you choose or however you do it makes a big difference.
Right. So my husband and I usually spend like 3 to 4 hours on Sunday between the two of us doing stuff, kitchen, and then my son, he just kind of gets his chill time. But what we do is we have a whiteboard, and we have our base meals we eat throughout the week, and we can always, if we do another video, can go more into detail about meal prepping for actual meals and not snacks. But we have certain things that we eat for lunch at work, and then we plan out like 4 to 5 dinners over the period of 2 weeks where we eat leftovers, and that's what our grocery list basically consists of. Our staples that we eat all the time, and then things that we might kind of want. And then things that are going to make the meals over the next 2 weeks, because we both get paid every 2 weeks. We get paid on the same day. We have to make the money last.
Yes.
Yeah. And then something else I want to point out is if you crave something and you know you're going to crave it, plan for your craving. I very much crave sweet stuff after I eat lunch at work. I have no idea why.
I always crave sweet stuff.
So I either will eat some fruit, and we'll go into this more here in a little bit. We have these at home, and this is called Wildberry Splash Water by Nestle. It's a little bit of flavored water because I drink water all the time, but I need to like switch up my palate and have something sweet. This is no calories, no carbs, and it satisfies and makes me avoid eating a candy bar.
Yes.
And I know when I eat like a candy bar after I've eaten really well all day, I feel like a failure, which opens the gateway for me to eat so much junk food.
Yeah, you're like, all right, well, I've already ruined my day, so I might as well have something else.
Right.
Yeah. But every time you eat is a new opportunity to eat something that is healthy. You are never done with your day, and you know, we see patients all the time. I'm like that. I'm like, no, you're fine. Just don't do it again. You know?
Right.
Or, you know, and also you can indulge every once in a while. So we're not trying to say you can never, ever have something that is like, you know, I do Halo Top ice cream. But I talk about that all the time. But anyway, I think, you know, it kind of goes along with what you're saying.
Moderation is key. Oh, before I forget, something, I've not done it with almonds, but since I brought almonds, I thought I would demonstrate. I've done it with pecans, but crunchy sweet. Okay, I don't know what comes to mind for you, but candy bars and stuff do for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Literally you can take any nuts that you want. We could do almonds and put these in a freezer bag and then pour honey in it and then cinnamon.
That sounds so good.
It's really good with pecans. And then you just mix that all up in a bag and you'll put it on parchment paper on a cooking sheet and put the oven at 200 for like 10 minutes maybe. Yeah. Once you smell that kind of nutty aroma, you have like the best snack ever.
That's like Christmas time at the mall. You know when Maggie brings in her like the Nutty Bavarian. Oh my gosh, just so good. But these are probably less crazy. That's awesome.
So like,
oh my god, I want that now.
We can make it when we're done.
Yeah, good.
But like I said, just switch everything up. And when it comes to dairy products, they're good, but they're definitely good in moderation. Moderation is very key. And portion out your stuff. So I think that's all I have for snacks. So then I wanted to go on to things that we usually eat in our diets, but there's a better alternative and how to get to that alternative.
So that's something that you guys will have to hang out to watch, right? So we'll do that video next.
Sure.
All right. So you guys hang in there, and we'll post the next video on smarter choices. So how do you think that went? You pretty good with that?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
we're going to eat for a minute.
We're going to take a break and have some snacks. I like to call them snacks. So we're going to do that, and thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you next time on Meal Preppin' with Mo and Steph. Bye. Bye.